Operation Husky, Paratroopers. Sicily, 1943. The night the sky bit back. C-47s hum like sewing machines stitching the invasion together. The low, American destroyers and army guns listen to rumor and radar. Then somebody flinches. The 82nd Airborne crosses the beaches at 500 to 1,000 feet, running dark to dodge Axis fighters, and flies straight into Allied flak with trust issues. Confusion, misreports of enemy bombers. Triggers get lighter than paper. 23 transports fall. Engines torch. Parachutes blossom too low. By dawn, roughly 318 Allied dead. Air crews and paratroopers dot the water and fields. A massacre born from fear and silhouette. It becomes a doctrine written in blood. Deconflict routes, mark friendlies, brief the ships. Twice, Husky landed, but that night, our guns defended the beach from our own sky. If the sea could mistake friends for ghosts, wait till the bombers missed by miles. Operation Cobra. Morning near Saint-Lô. Yellow smoke marks the German line until wind and dust erase the handwriting. Bradley wants parallel runs to the road. Most heavies come perpendicular instead. Aim points vanish. The front line blurs. 24th July. An aborted strike still drops short. More than dead, about 130 wounded, and the mission slips a day. 25th July. The sky returns with a wall of engines, and bombs fall early again. 111 Americans killed, 490 wounded. Among them, Lieutenant General Leslie J. McNair, a 3-star erased by his own air cover. Downrange, Panzer Lehr is cratered into rumor. Uprange, U.S. foxholes are turned inside out by friendly steel. The breakout still happens, but the lesson is stamped on doctrine. Mark better, brief harder, never let smoke write your coordinates. Rails next, when enemy train hit our prisoners inside. Train on the Paglia! Midday over Umbria. B-26s carve contrails toward a steel spine. A bridge the war keeps breaking. On the span sits a train of 40 to 50 cars, padlocked box by box. Inside, British, American, South African POWs. Unmarked, unseen. Guards bolt for cover. The prisoners can't. The 320th Bombardment Group comes in clean. 27 Marauders drop an iron sentence. 84 1,000-pounders and 36 500-pounders. And the bridge answers with splinters and flame. Some prisoners kick through boards, jump to the Paglia, crawl for bank and breath. Others never leave the cars. By evening, the tally is brutal. Hundreds of Allied casualties. Local accounts say over 300. Some histories speak of around 400 dead. The mission hit its target. The intel missed its passengers. A memorial stands now beside the rails. It marks a day when friendly bombs found our own because the train wore no name. Night. Pickets. A general on horseback. Chancellorsville, 1863. Stonewall Jackson. Dusk in the wilderness. The flank attack has shattered the 11th Corps. And Jackson rides forward to keep the pressure lit. He pushes past his skirmishers farther than the line knows and turns back through the dark. Pickets of the 18th North Carolina hear riders. Halt! Who goes there? Answers tangle with wind and fear. Volleys crack. 3 bullets hit Jackson, 2 in the left arm, 1 in the right hand. Horses rear, staff scatter. Union batteries begin to rake the road. On a stretcher, he falls, is lifted, falls again, and the surgeons take the arm. It's May 2nd, 1863. 8 days later, May 10th, pneumonia finishes what friendly fire began. The South keeps the field. Lee loses the man he called his right arm. Night made enemies out of echoes. A victory signed with the wrong signature. See next, radios screaming, flags missed, and a ship named USS Liberty. USS Liberty, June 8th, 6-day war, day 4. A gray hull marked AGTR-5 listens to the desert through antennas that look like rigging from the future. Blips crowd Israeli scopes. Reports tangle. Fast movers dive. Mirage 3s, then Mystère 4s. Guns and rockets peel paint to bare metal. Torpedo boats close. 5 fish fan out. 1 punches starboard, tearing a 39-foot mouth in the ship's side. Water and darkness take the SIGINT spaces. On deck, a U.S. flag snaps in clean daylight. Radios bleed Mayday. By sunset, 34 Americans killed, 171 wounded. The captain, William McGonigal, holds station, bleeding, and saves the ship. Israel calls it mistaken identity. Washington files notes, accepts compensation, and shelves the worst questions in stamped folders. Decades later, declassified pages still argue about what the gunners saw and what the antennas heard. The sea kept her afloat. The story still fights the weather. Next, 1994. Friendly skies turn carnivore. Blackhawks over the no-fly zone. Blackhawk Shootdown! Clear morning over the TAOR. Two UH-60s, Eagle Flight, ferry a coalition team between safe names on a dangerous map. Above them, an E-3 AWACS watches the chessboard and misses the piece that matters. Two F-15Cs drop in, hunting hinds that aren't there. IFF flickers, radio nets don't meet, and a rumor turns into a radar contact. The lead Eagle fires first. Aim 120 at the trail Blackhawk. 7 seconds of straight line, then fire. The wingman rolls in with an aim 9, and the sky writes a second obituary. No survivors. 26 dead. 15 Americans, Army, Air Force, State. 2 British, 1 French, 3 Turkish, 4 Kurdish, 1 Assyrian. A friendly flag flaps in clean daylight over wreckage that can't read. Investigators call it a chain of failures. AWACS control, ROE discipline, Helo ID training, radios, IFF, procedure. Families get answers with footnotes. The cockpit gets a longer checklist. The lesson is brutal and boring. Deconflict, confirm, then kill. Next, Tarnak Farm, 2002. Night CAS, a sparkle on the ground and a trigger too quick. Tarnak Farm, night near Kandahar. Canadians from Princess Patricia's run a live fire lane. Tracers arc like sewing needles. Overhead, 2 F-16s see the sparkle. Here, possible ground fire, and the cockpit turns suspicion into self-defense. A GBU-12, 500-pounder, slips from a pylon and writes its own coordinates. The blast is final and precise. 4 Canadians killed, 8 wounded. The range goes silent, except for radios that can't apologize. Names and hearings follow daylight. Major Harry Schmidt faces charges. 2 years later, he's found derelict of duty, reprimanded, and fined $5,672. The rulebook grows. Confirm, deconflict, breathe, because in the dark, every tracer looks guilty. The bomb did exactly what it was told. The war forgot to speak clearly. 2003, new war, new radars, and a Patriot that couldn't tell friend from fear. Patriot Fratricide Cluster, Scene 1, 22 to 23, March. A returning RAF Tornado GR-4A, ZG-710, lines up for Ali al-Salem. On a Patriot scope, its symbol screams anti-radiation missile. A launch, a streak, a mistake. 2 airmen killed. Scene 2, 24 to 25, March. An F-16CJ gets painted by a Patriot battery. The Viper answers with an AGM-88 HARM. No casualties, except a radar that learns humility. Scene 3, 2nd April. A USN FA-18C from VFA 195 never makes it home. A Patriot engagement ends Lieutenant Nathan D. White's flight. 1 friendly system, 2 funerals, a dozen new checklists. The technology worked, the identification didn't. In the space between, people died. Different sea, different year. A Super Hornet survives the same story. Super Hornet Shootdown! December 22nd, 2024. Task Force Tempo is a drumline. Sorties cycle against Houthi threats. A 2-seat FA-18 Super Hornet heads home to the USS Harry S. Truman. On a U.S. cruiser's console, a return doesn't look friendly enough. A Navy surface-to-air missile lifts, finds the Hornet, and does its job. The crew ejects, salt spray and parachute silk, and rescue birds snatch them out of a violent map. 1 aircrew lightly injured, both alive. The Navy calls it apparent friendly fire, not enemy action, and opens the book. What did the radar see? Who owned the ROE? Why did the link mislead? Until answers come, every watchstander hears the moral. Trust your nets, but verify your sky. Survival is luck you plan for. The arithmetic of 1991 that still haunts the briefings. Gulf War! Desert Storm looked clean on TV. It wasn't on paper. Of 148 Americans killed in battle, 35 died to friendly fire. About 24%. Britain buried 9 of its 47 among the same mistakes. Most were ground on ground, but jets wrote their share of obituaries. The fixes that followed wore names like IFF upgrades, better marking, blue force tracking, ROE discipline, training that hurts before war does. Statistics don't bleed, units do. So every op order since 1991 repeats the same quiet sentence. Confirm, then fire. Confirm again. The weapons changed. The math kept score. Mission debrief ready? Your call, Commander.
See the next video.
The Nuremberg Trials. Nuremberg, 1945. In a courtroom carved out of ruins, 22 principal defendants sat behind glass, while translators turned 4 languages into one responsibility. What the Allies brought wasn't vengeance, it was vocabulary. Crimes against peace. If you've made it this far, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and consider joining as a member or dropping a super thanks to support our work. Tell me, which of these confused units would you draft for your dodgeball team? And how many times would they accidentally hit you in the back of the head?